What's going on, guys? It's Cal here from Buffalo SportsCenter. Today we are doing hot takes. Again, all of these hot takes were submitted by you guys over on our Instagram. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We got 13 of these bad boys coming up. So number one, the only way the Buffalo Bills will ever win a Super Bowl is if they fire Sean McDermott. Now, this take I've seen over the internet, over the years. And again, I can agree with this in one sense because McDermott has seemed to get outcoached in each and every one of his playoff losses. But also, the Bills, they were in that big drought without him. So it's tough to fire a coach that got them out of the drought. But I could totally see where your head is at with this take because, again, McDermott has not proved himself in the playoffs. And if anything, he's made himself look like a bad coach in the playoffs. So I'm on the fence about that one. I think they can win a Super Bowl with McDermott, but they'd have to luck into it somehow. So I kind of agree, but let's move on to number two. Now, this one is combining two of your hot takes into one because they were both record projections. Somebody said the Bills were going 15-2. Another person said 14-3. Look, I'm going to disagree with both of these. I think the Bills have at least 3 more losses coming this season. The team is solid, but again, it's just not one of the best Bills teams we've seen in the last couple of years. And 15-2, man, we would have to go undefeated from here on out. I don't see that happening. One more loss, I guess it could happen, but I think we lose at least 3 more. So I'm going to disagree with these takes. I like the positive attitude, though, and hopefully you guys are right. Moving on to hot take number 3. Curtis Samuel is one of the worst offseason acquisitions made in quite some time. Again, I can't disagree with this. Curtis Samuel's really hasn't been used for anything in this Bills offense. When we first got him, I know there was a little buzz around the city. Curtis Samuel's an established wide receiver. I know for one, I was excited about this. But so far, Curtis Samuel has just been used as kind of a gadget wide receiver / running back, kind of filling in the Hardy's role from last year. He's on the field a little bit, lines up as running back most of the time. Not really in the slot too much. I expected a lot more from Curtis Samuel. I know he's been injured a couple times already this season, but I can't disagree that he's been one of our worst offseason acquisitions because he hasn't really done much on the field at all, and when he has, it's been like 1 or 2 plays a game. So I completely agree with you there. He has to up it. I wouldn't mind seeing the Bills trade him, honestly, if they're going to bring in another receiver. Maybe clear out some roster room, clear out some money. We'll see what they do with him, but yeah, I got to agree with that take. Moving on to number 4. Amari Cooper will make Keon Coleman Rookie of the Year. Now, this take, it's definitely valid. As we've already seen, I'm making this video after 1 week of Amari Cooper. So we saw it already opened up the field for Keon Coleman, who had, 125 yards on 4 catches and almost had a touchdown there at the end of the game. Just wasn't able to keep the feet in bounds there. So, yeah, I think this is a valid take. Again, it's going to take Keon Coleman having games like that almost every week to get to that Rookie of the Year level, but he certainly is in the mix now that Amari Cooper's on the team. And if the Bills go out and get a guy like Cooper Kupp or something and spread the field out even more, Keon Coleman might be the number 1 receiving back on the team by the end of the year. So it's definitely good to see. Like I said, when we first got Amari Cooper, I think this helps out every single receiver on the team besides MVS, who got cut. Just spreading out the field a little bit more, making it a little easier on these lesser talented guys to get open because there's going to be so much focus on Amari Cooper, and Cooper can still get open even when he's the main focus. So, yeah, definitely a valid take. Moving on to number 5. Why did the Chiefs give us Coleman? Xavier Worthy is much worse. Again, this is kind of a flip, kind of a joke on the big narrative coming out of week 1. Why did the Bills give the Chiefs Xavier Worthy? Keon Coleman's a bust. That's so stupid. Yeah, I completely agree with this. Xavier Worthy, he's very fast, but as far as, his NFL career goes, he's really a one-trick pony, right? You just got to hit him on a streak or hit him in some sort of, wide receiver screen or like a wide receiver end-around type move where Keon Coleman can pretty much do anything on the field. I get it, Keon Coleman's not that fast. We've seen a couple deep balls to him already where he gets tracked down pretty quickly. But it doesn't matter, right? Keon Coleman is the better overall wide receiver, and I think we're seeing that. So got to agree with that one. Moving on to number 6. Sean McDermott holds back Joe Brady. This is one I could jump on all day long. I think Sean McDermott has a big hand in the offense. It doesn't look like it, right? He kind of plays the defensive guy on camera, but behind the scenes, I think he definitely is telling Joe Brady, at least pacing-wise, with the offense what to do, because we see a lot of run plays. We know McDermott in the past has had his hand in the offense, trying to keep the defense off the field as long as possible, rather than just throwing the ball downfield and trying to score as quick as possible. Again, it's just a coaching mentality. It's kind of an old school coaching mentality, but that's what McDermott is. So whether you think it's good or bad that McDermott is kind of involved in the offense, I think it's definitely true. Moving on, hot take number 7. This one's pretty plain and simple. It just says Super Bowl. It's got to happen eventually with Josh Allen, right? So, I'm not going to disagree. It certainly could happen. If it's going to be a Bills Super Bowl, I don't know if this is particularly the team that does it. I think some teams of the past have been a little bit better. But again, you never know. The trade deadline's still coming up, and the Bills can make a couple more moves to put themselves right in the mix. But, the Chiefs just got DeAndre Hopkins, so that team's definitely the favorite still. Moving on to number 8, we are talking about the Bills safeties. It says Damar Hamlin and Taylor Rapp are a lot better duo than people think. I got to agree with this one. Damar Hamlin, according to PFF, is one of the best safeties in the league, and Taylor Rapp had an absolutely crazy game the last couple weeks. He's been... he's usually like that headhunter safety that puts his head down and, you're like, what are you doing? Gets that 15-yard penalty. But Taylor Rapp has been really good the last couple games, so hopefully he can keep up that pace. Completely saved a game. I think it was like 3 or 4, drop balls he caused, just kind of flying in there. It might be just that guardian cap that he's wearing after that concussion, so maybe that changes his approach a little bit, but yeah, I got to say the Bills safeties look good. Again, Cole Bishop is sitting on the bench playing special teams. He's available to hop in there whenever you need. Same thing with Mike Edwards. So we got the safety position down. You look around the league, Micah Hyde's still a free agent. He's not going to be coming back anytime soon. And Jordan Poyer is one of the worst safeties this year with the Dolphins. So definitely a good move by Brandon Beane, changing up that safety duo. Moving on to hot take number 9. It says the Bills have the best D-line in the league. I'll disagree with this one, but I'll give you a little bit of credit here because the Bills would have one of the best D-lines if they were consistent. But again, this Buffalo Bills D-line cannot seem to get all cylinders rolling at once. One game, Epinesa has a big game and everyone else is quiet. The next game, Rousseau, it gets in there, has 3 sacks. Everyone else is quiet. The next game, Daquan Jones makes a couple big tackles. The edges don't get through. Ed Oliver has a big game. No one else, it's just one or 2 guys a game where, if all of these guys are having good games, that D-line would be incredible. But they just can't get going together. So hopefully that happens. But as of right now, I'm not going to say the Bills' D-line is the best in the league, but Von Miller's coming back soon, so we'll see if that helps out a little bit. Moving on to hot take number 10. Khalil Shakir is the most underrated receiver. Now, I don't know if this means on the Bills or in the league, but let's just say it means in the league. I can certainly agree with this one. You don't really hear about Khalil Shakir at all from national media, but Shakir is definitely one of those guys you can trust late in games to get open, find the seam, and also, kind of get more yardage than you would think, right? His yards after catch have been solid. He's definitely pretty good at finding that space and then just cutting it upfield, getting a few more yards. So, again, hopefully that ankle injury doesn't hold him back. He's looked pretty solid after, coming back from that ankle injury, but not necessarily full, so hopefully he gets to full health pretty soon. Moving on to hot take number 11. The Bills came out with the best 2022 draft class out of everyone. And again, if you look right at the front of this draft class, you're going to disagree, but I'm going to have to agree because first things first, they get Khalil Elam in the first round, and Khair Elam, he's a special teamer at this point in his career. He's not going to play defense with the Bills unless we have a couple injuries. He's a man-to-man cornerback. I don't know why they drafted him because all we do is play zone, but it is what it is. Now let's go. Let's keep going here because Terrell Bernard, James Cook, Khalil Shakir, Christian Benford, Balin Spector. All of those guys are current starters or, first guys up off the bench on your team right now, and they all were out of the 2022 draft class. So, yeah, that is a great class, very deep class. We also got Matt Ariza. Could have been a really good punter, but all that, that stuff happened that I'm not going to really talk about in this video. But yeah, definitely a really good draft class for the Bills, minus that first round pick. But hey, he's still on the team and he's still playing special teams. So, you're pretty much your whole class 2 years later is still on your team. So that's good to see. Usually that doesn't happen. Number 12. Although I love him, I don't think Keon Coleman will end up being good. Again, this kind of fires back to our previous hot take of Amari Cooper kind of helping Keon Coleman get in space. You got to remember, Keon Coleman is the second round wide receiver. He's not going to be one of those star receivers that comes out of college and just becomes the best guy in the league. It's not going to happen. Although, Keon Coleman, he definitely has that jump ball ability. He has, he can get separation a little bit, but his speed definitely holds him back. So, again, I've been saying it the whole time. He's not going to be a number one receiver on your team, I don't think ever, but he's definitely going to be a solid option. So, it depends what you mean by good. I think he's going to be a good receiver. Do I think he's going to be great or a Hall of Fame candidate? Absolutely not. But yeah, I think people have to lower their expectations with him. But like that previous hot take said, if the Bills keep getting some good wide receivers, it's going to open up a lot of space for him. And our last hot take, number 13, Dwayne Carter will emerge as Defensive Rookie of the Year. Or at least a candidate. Again, this could happen. I've been very impressed with Dwayne Carter in the middle of that defensive line. As far as Defensive Rookie of the Year goes, I can't see it happening. Again, the Bills rotate their defensive line, and that could be why, they can't seem to get guys going all at once. But they rotate their defensive line all game long. Again, guys are just, coming on and off the field. It seems every 2 plays. So we'll see what happens there. But again, Dwayne Carter, I think he's going to have a good career in the NFL. I'm excited. As far as Rookie of the Year goes, I don't see it happening, but you never know. So thank you guys for watching this video. Those were 13 hot takes for the Bills this season. Again, if you guys want to be part of these next time, be sure to check out our Instagram, Buffalo Sports Center on Instagram. Be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe. And for that being said, have a good one.